This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, the trial closure of the Octagon has angered retailers who say they're already hurting financially. A Chicago retiree has travelled across the world to Dunedin to run down the airport. And the challenge of performing outdoors has attracted a group of actors for the first season of Dunedin Summer Shakespeare in many years. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. The trial closure of the Octagon has angered retailers who say they're already hurting financially. Some shopkeepers are even saying their future existence is under threat.
Dunedin's Octagon experience, a trial closure of the town centre to vehicle traffic, is becoming unforgettable for all the wrong reasons for some retailers. Just down from the Octagon at the Scottish shop, Erin Hogan describes the first days of the trial as having been an absolute disaster, with revenue down 50% from usual.
I have figures to prove that the turnover was down in the first 3 days of the trial, as we knew it would be, because we have history of what happens when the street is closed.
Colin Lim of I Love Merino says his shop's also seen retail slashed by half.
Yesterday we had the celebrity solstice here. It's been here 5 times already this season. I averaged out the sales over those 5 visits, and yesterday we were down 50%.
Council Planning and Environment Committee Chairman Councillor David Benson Pope said earlier this week he was open to the possibility that the Octagon may no longer suit certain types of retail.
If people are running businesses that are not fit for purpose in the area they're in, well, they need to find a solution.
But he adds the council is trying its best to help guide Dunedin's retailers into making good decisions.
One of the things we are doing though, and talking to retailers about their concerns, is giving them good advice from people who know how successful these sort of urban design improvements are, and in due course I guess those operators will make their own decisions about what's best for them.
In the meantime, some of the Octagon's retailers are dreading the upcoming 2 months of ongoing disruption to road traffic.
To do this to us now in our peak times of trade, I think it's a bit disastrous.
The Dunedin City Council's Octagon Experience closure is set to run until mid-February, and from then until the end of March there will also be partial closures. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Driving in front of Dunedin's railway station is set to become a thing of the past. From next Wednesday, most vehicles will be barred from driving along the frontage of the station as the Dunedin City Council starts work on the partial pedestrianisation of the area. The closure, which was trialled last year, includes a new pedestrian-only area, changes to drop-off and pick-up areas and new signage. There will still be access for pedestrians, cyclists, scooters, emergency vehicles and mobility scooters. The council says there was strong public support for the concept after 2 trials last year. A Chicago retiree has travelled across the world to Dunedin to run down the airport runway. Carol Thomas arrived in New Zealand this week to take part in the Run the Runway event at Dunedin Airport on Sunday.
Visiting Dunedin from Chicago is Carol Thomas, who is set to join up to 500 others in a fundraising run on Wimona's airport runway on Sunday morning. Her obsession with running runways started when she turned 70, and her chiropractor recommended she run more. A few weeks later, she saw a postcard advertising to run the O'Hare terminal in Chicago.
I had never run a runway. I've run to catch a lot of flights, but not a runway. So 4,000 of us showed up that day, and we ran right past a couple airplanes on an active terminal, and I got hooked on it.
Sunday's run will be Thomas's 34th runway run, and she says being on tarmac is an improvement to running on the streets or in a park.
Well, for one thing, you don't have to look down. There are no rocks, no snow or ice, no potholes, no dogs or geese, no wet leaves. You just go straight ahead and just keep going. And they bring out airplanes for us and ground equipment for us to take photos.
Having worked at the American Airlines counter in Chicago's O'Hare International Airport for more than 40 years, Thomas's work benefits allow her to travel to exotic runways, and she says Sunday's run at Monmona won't be her last.
In October, I'll be back in Honolulu running with 1,000 airline employees. World Airline Road Race, 39th year. It'll be my 5th year with them.
This year's Run the Runway event will include mobility scooters and wheelchairs and is set for 6:15 a.m. this Sunday. Limited to 500 people, the event is set to raise money for the new Mosgiel swimming pool. Tickets are available on the Run the Runway website at about $40 per person. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Emergency services have been kept busy across the south with a slew of traffic collisions and high winds lifting of roofing iron. In Invercargill, strong winds tore iron panels from the Southland District Council building, and there were fears they could be blown onto the main street. 2 fire and emergency crews, along with police assistants, arrived at the scene on 4th Street this morning. Fire and Emergency Station Officer Toby Pascoe says crews attended multiple call-outs across Invercargill in the past 24 hours as a result of high wind gusts. 2 people were killed when a car left the road and smashed into a pine tree near Makarora late last night. Police were alerted to the single vehicle crash on Makarora Late Hawea Road, State Highway 6, about 10:20 p.m. 2 people died at the scene and 2 others were transported to Dunstan Hospital with minor and moderate injuries. The serious crash unit arrived this morning, working with police to understand the circumstances of the crash. The lure of Shakespeare and the challenge of performing outdoors have attracted a group of actors for the first season of the Dunedin Summer Shakespeare in many years. Opening this evening at Woodhall Gardens, cast members say they're looking forward to the public joining them in the woods.
All the world's a stage. And it's literally the case for a company putting on an adaptation of William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet at Dunedin's Woodhall Gardens.
It is going to be a very lively environment. So we are in Woodhall Gardens, which means we're going to have some incidental noise, whatever Mother Nature throws at us.
Director Kim Morgan says the theatre company has been working towards this production for about a year, leading up to opening night. Trucks rumbling by, children playing and the wind whooshing through trees aren't the usual background noises actors have to deal with. Nick Tipa has the role of Romeo and is relying on 10 years of acting experience to help him create his own take on the oft-played part.
I think the audience comes in with a lot of expectation and not worrying too much about what the audience think is going to happen, and as I said before, going back to the text and finding your way through that text based on what you find, not on what you've heard about this play or what people expect you to present in this play.
Emily Mackenzie is Juliet to Nick Tipa's Romeo and says being outside in the elements is one of the greatest challenges, without having walls to reflect actors' voices.
Usually when you're in the theatre, it helps you. But when you're in the park, it's quite easily your voice can easily be taken away by the wind or any of the other kind of natural environments.
The outdoor production of Dunedin Summer Shakespeare is a semi-professional production featuring a combination of paid and unpaid cast and crew. Kim Morgan says it wouldn't have come about without funding from many sources.
The generosity of the Dunedin City Council, the Creative New Zealand Professional Theatre Development Fund, which they administer, we've been a very fortunate recipient of. We've also been funded by Octagon Community Trust.
Along with the major funders, she says more than 200 people donated to a Give a Little page which the theatre company set up. The production opens tonight and is set to run over the next 2 weekends. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, police appeal for help locating a missing Dunedin teenager, and we catch up with the Dunedin actor chasing her dreams, so stay with us.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear. fix.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489-2274. Lana Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions.
Garage Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garage quality service. Garage Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Welcome back. Christchurch construction and demolition firm Series Limited has won the tender to demolish the former Cadbury Factory to make way for the new Dunedin Hospital. Health Minister David Clark says the company played a leading role in clearing Christchurch sites following the major earthquakes and will demolish the buildings and clear the site. He says the nature of the site requires consideration of a range of issues, including traffic management and safety, as well as the impact on neighbouring properties and businesses. Work is due to start almost immediately, as Dunedin City Council has already granted consent. Police are appealing for sightings of 15-year-old Danielle Duncans, who is missing from Balaclava in Dunedin. Danielle was last seen on Saturday, January the 25th. She is around 160 centimetres tall and of a slim build. Both police and Danielle's family have concerns for her well-being. Anyone who may have seen Danielle or has information on her whereabouts are urged to call police on 105, quoting file number 200126/2345. About 6 months ago, an aspiring Dunedin actor and self-confessed Disney fan took up a place working at Disney World. She's now back from her working holiday and fizzing with stories, having loved the experience.
Back in her old stomping ground, after a 6-month tour of duty, it's the happiest place on earth.
Disney is just go, 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 go all the time, but especially at Christmas time, because at one time I worked at the Christmas store and it was absolutely bonkers for about an 8-hour shift, just go, 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 go. I don't think I looked up from the register once.
Dunedin actor Sarah Latta answered an ad on social media platform Instagram and was selected to work at Disneyland.
When you go to your interview, you just got to be You love Disney, of course, but like being energetic, ready to learn, because you learn a lot at Disney.
While Disneyland is seen by many across the world as a land of never-ending fun, Latta says while it's fun, for those behind the scenes, it's also hard work and long hours.
So I was doing merchandise, but I was doing it at Disney Springs, which is also known as like downtown Disney. So I worked at a number of different stores, so Marketplace Co-op, Trendy, Pin Traders Christmas store, and then there was 5 stores within Marketplace Co-op. There was a lot of stores.
She says, like with any new job, there's a lot to learn, from the obvious systems and procedures to the intricacies of the workplace.
Not only learning the registers and the cash handling, but also the way Disney works and all the underground things.
There are fairly tight criteria for getting into Disney College, as it's known, and Latta says it's an experience she'd recommend to anyone, but says don't expect to meet the people behind the characters like Mickey Mouse.
What are you talking about? Mickey is Mickey. Mickey is Mickey. He doesn't come off, or else Mickey would be... And Mickey doesn't die, so...
The University of Otago graduate is currently hunting for acting roles in Dunedin, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, we farewell a legendary Dunedin radio host and take a look at the weekend's weather, so see you after the break.
Lana Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions.
Step into Shop on Carol and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
Thanks for staying with us. The host of Dunedin's Radio 1 Jazz show is calling it a day after more than 20 years. Richard Good has been doing the Sunday morning Jazz Junction show since the 90s and will broadcast his final show this weekend.
Richard Good has been a regular DJ of the Sunday morning show Jazz Junction at Radio 1 for over 20 years. At 74, he's now taking a well-earned rest from the tricky task of queuing up albums and talking on air about jazz music from across the ages.
Very useful pieces of advice. The first one was given by the people in the studio giving me a hand, and they said, you only relax when you've made your first mistake. And that puts it in perspective. I've made my first mistake. It wasn't too bad, I'll just box on. You're on the one. This is 91 FM. Richard here with you with this week's Jazz Junction.
He says he started following jazz as a teenager after saving up from his paper round to buy a record player.
Then somebody sent me anonymously, I turned up at home, I never found out who, the Benny Goodman 1938 jazz concert at Carnegie Hall. And that sparked my love of big bands from the 1930s.
While he's quite an aficionado of jazz, he doesn't claim to be able to identify the exact decade a recording was made, relying on books and liner notes to help him out.
My ears aren't sensitive enough to say that's 70s, that's 90s, that's 2010. I can recognise a broad genre. I can usually know where the records come from. But beyond that, I read the liner notes.
He's planning for his last show to be a selection of some of his favourites, including tracks by Dizzy Gillespie and Miles Davis, as well as one or two cuts which are topical today.
There's Cab Calloway's Ode to Marijuana, which I shall play ahead of the referendum. There's a lovely jazz musician called Ricky May, who was a Maori, but he was not first and foremost a jazz singer, but he did two marvellous CDs of 30s type music, and I'm going to play some of that.
Jazz Junction will be broadcast on Radio 1, 91 FM from 10 AM till midday this Sunday. In Dunedin, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The trial closure of the Octagon has angered retailers who say they're already hurting financially, and it's only just begun. A Chicago retiree has travelled across the world to Dunedin to run down the airport runway with a host of other keen people this weekend. And the challenge of performing outdoors has attracted a group of actors for the first season of Dunedin Summer Shakespeare in many years. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome Craig Page. What have you got for us tomorrow?
Good evening, Saturday edition, so plenty of reading as usual. We've got an interesting story announcement today regarding the Cadbury demolition, which of course is making way for our new Dunedin hospital. Christchurch construction firm Ceres has won the tender. Was heavily involved in a lot of the clearing work at the Christchurch sites after earthquakes up there. So it's going to demolish and clear the sites. The Health Minister's announced today, David Clark. And interesting, the work's going to start almost immediately. So if you want to get through Dunedin, good luck traffic-wise, because it's going to be a busy old time over the upcoming months.
It's and noisy. Good time to start walking and
exactly.
Scootering.
You've got an electric bike anyway.
Electric bike, yes, I have.
A special investigation by one of our reporters, Daisy Hudson, into the infamous 1962 Dunedin bombing, which killed local lawyer James Ward. He opened a parcel in a Stewart Street office and it exploded, and he ended up dying from his injuries. But it's almost 60 years now, still no arrests. We've got some new information there and can name one of the prime suspects in that case. So a good read from Daisy and well worth a look in Saturday's paper.
It's a real cold case, that one.
Yeah, it is. And in the weekend mix, the school year's about to get underway. We take a look at the school curriculum and what is the goal of education in this country, and are kids getting out of it enough, I guess, for future work. So, another good read for us. That's
wonderful. And you can catch all of that in tomorrow's ODT. Thank you, Craig. And now it's time for a look at the weekend's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with the southern view, preparations underway for the Masters Games in Dunedin. Looking at the situation, a northwesterly airflow will increase as it approaches the region tomorrow. A front will bring some rain on Sunday and a change to colder southwesterly winds. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport are looking at cloudy skies with a high of 22 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim, you can expect cloudy days and a decent high of 27 degrees. Moving down to Canterbury, Kaikoura aims for 24 degrees with cloudy skies. Christchurch heads for 22 and Ashburton will be the warmest place on the plains with an expected 27 degrees. To the southern towns, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore are all looking at strong northwesterlies with late showers and a high of 22 degrees. The Catlins has strong northwesterlies and cloud increasing in the afternoon and should reach 23. Heading to central Otago, Wanaka, Alexandra and Queenstown are all set for fresh northwesterlies with increasing cloud throughout the day. Wanaka and Queenstown you're looking to reach 26 degrees. Alexandra you're set to be a bit warmer on 27, while Tiana you're set for strong westerlies, rain and a high of 18 degrees. To the northern towns, on the coast first, those in Timaru and Oamaru are due to have moderate northeasterlies, high cloud and 22 degrees. Looking inland, Twizel and Amarama are due for increasing northwesterlies, a bit of cloud with 27 for Twizel and a decent high of 28 in Amarama. In Dunedin, fine tonight with an overnight low of 11. Fine with thick high cloud tomorrow and milder north to northeasterlies freshening during the afternoon, but tending northwesterly from the evening. A high of 22 and a low of 18. And it's overcast on Sunday with periods of rain, warm northerlies at first and then they die out with cooler southerlies developing later on. A high of 21 and a low of 9. And in Invercargill, mostly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 12 degrees. Milder northwesterlies will freshen tomorrow with a few sunny periods at first and some showers developing at night. Winds will become strong, a high of 20 and a low of 17, and strong to near gale force northwesterlies at first on Sunday with rain. Easing to showers with fresh to strong southwesterlies later in the day, looking at a high of 17 for Sunday and a low of 9. And that's all from the South Today team for this Friday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening and weekend. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.